Ladies and gentlemen, interesting weekend in the world of professional wrestling, specifically WWE. Vince McMahon at 77. It's time to retire. Thank you, WWE Universe. Then, now, forever together. He's hitting that hard, huh? Anyway, that just means, once again, it is time for the McMahon Helmsley. I forgot about that. Damn it. Just damn it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Essential Wrestling Podcast. Powers, as always, by the Eastern Observer. You can taste the power. I actually have a double cold open today because in other news that somewhat involves wrestling, also involves around the Marvel Cinematic Universe. For those that know, this past weekend was San Diego Comic-Con. Apparently, the Afternoon Hall H is where, that it's a big event for comic book guys and whatever. They announced the new Captain America movie, which I believe is coming out in 2024. And it is Captain America New World Order.
New World Order.
So it'll be interesting to see who gets cast as Hulk Hogan, Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, and that. Maybe Pac, maybe a Big Show appearance. Who knows? That'd be fun. But also, the other big announcement, as we know, coming up on August 17th, She-Hulk drops. The new Disney Plus series, She-Hulk Attorney at Law, and they had a quick glimpse of She-Hulk that looks pretty good. So
that sounds awful.
I thought for sure you were going to make a China reference there, but okay.
No, she. Oh, on the bottom part of our screen, the double cold open, John DeConnie, our first ever PWP champion, the living legend. Always glad to have you. I had two cold open. Normally, I'm struggling for one. This week, I had two fall right into my lap.
That's good stuff right there. You just don't get gifts from heaven like that all the time.
Yeah. How are you today, John? Everything good?
Not bad. Good to be back with you as always.
There you go. And on the top part of our screen, right next to me, as always.
And number 4, John Smith.
John, how are things with you today?
Good, man. I'm not wearing any pants.
Nice.
I'm wearing shorts. I'm wearing shorts, though.
Oh, okay. I was going to say everybody's ready for a pants-off dance-off. I think that was a cold open way back. I think it was like the early episodes, like episode 12 or 11. You ready for it? I think both your faces were like, why? Anyway. On today's episode, Jericho and Kingston shredded each other in with barbed wire at Fyter Fest. Alex Shelley with a huge win on Impact, and for the first time in his career, will challenge for a world title. Shout out to Alex Shelley. Zoe Stark returns in a big way at NXT. Gary Mehaffy is with us to discuss NXT UK and the UK Championship match this Thursday between Ilya Dragunov and Wolfgang. We make our picks for this week's upcoming shows, which, as always, sponsored by ProWrestlingPick'em.com. Play against your friends. Play against the universe. And guys, she'll like it too.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to main event the show with the road to SummerSlam. And don't forget to tune in this Saturday at 2 p.m. for our SummerSlam special. We're going to main event the show with Raw and SmackDown, and that is going to lead us in to Saturday afternoon. Let us be your kickoff show to the biggest party of the summer. But here are the roll-up standings going into this week. Let's see where we are. There we go. Raw's got a 7 roll-up lead on AEW. I think Raw, SmackDown, they're going to hold steady right now with new creative. We'll get into that as well. I don't remember Hunter being big into the roll-up thing as much as Vince is. So this might have just gotten interesting. This might be the opening that AEW was looking for to take this thing. But we're going to curtain jerk the show with Ring of Honor, Death Before Dishonor, the quote-unquote, I guess I want to say the rebirth, even though they weren't really gone for all that long. There we go. John DeConnie, apparently in Ring of Honor, I don't want to say this is a tradition or not. I don't want to speak for Ring of Honor, but as co-main events for the Ring of Honor Championship and the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championship, apparently there was a coin flip. And I guess whoever wins the coin flip, I guess they pick their spot in the show. And I guess Gresham won it. I don't know. So the show main evented with a 2 out of 3 falls for the Tag Team Championship. And wow. That is wow.
Yeah, when we do our year-end awards, it's going to be a shame that 2 of the greatest matches of the year are going to be performed by FTR, but they were both performed under the ROH banner, so they're not really going to be in contention for the AEW match of the year. This is, here we are again. So this match went about 43 and a half minutes, and I'm going to try and fight my every urge to spend less than that amount of time describing it. So I'm going to try and jump just to the falls here. Some really good psychology in this match. You had the fact brought up that the Briscoes at one point made the 2 out of 3 falls match kind of their niche in Ring of Honor. And at one point, they won 4 of them in a row without losing a fall. So 8 consecutive falls in these 2 out of 3 fall matches. So, of course, it was perfect when they took the first fall in this match. After about 16 and a half minutes, they hit the Doomsday Device on Dax. The Briscoes take the first fall. They go another 13 or so minutes. The Briscoes remember that they're not above a little heel tactics. Cash gets whacked with the ring bell, but they only get a two count out of that. And FTR turns it around. They hit the big rig on Jay, and for the first time in 5 consecutive 2 out of 3 fall matches, the Briscoes lose a fall. We're now at 1-1. They go for a while longer. The one little oopsie of the match was they were obviously supposed to do a spot where Dax swung at Jay, missed, and accidentally knocked out the ref. The ref didn't stay close enough to Jay, so Dax had to overextend and leap of 3 feet to make contact with the ref for the ref bump to get him to roll out. It was a little awkward, but the rest of this match was so damn good. That's easily forgiven. So now we got the ref on the floor, out cold. Jay hits a Jay Driller on Dax, but there's no one to count the 3. They turn around and hit the big rig on Jay. Still no ref. Cash goes out. He's not waiting any longer. He slaps the ref around, shakes him up, rolls him back in just in time. But at that point, Jay's finally able to kick out at 2. They hit the Doomsday Device on Dax, but Cash breaks up the count. Dax hits an avalanche pile driver on Jay. He can barely muster the strength to roll him over, but he does for the 1-2-3, the 3rd fall, the win, the retention of the ROH Tag Championships to 7-star FTR.
Yeah, that was absolutely incredible match, and that's what tag team wrestling is supposed to be. And the funny thing is, if you give other tag teams, we were just talking about the New Day and the Viking Raiders, give them 40 minutes, let them just tear it down. And I won't say it would be better, but it would be just as good. That was absolutely incredible. Big win for tag team wrestling. Big win for for FTR. They retain the Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions going into the new era still. And then the funny thing is, heard over the weekends too, rumors and speculation that the Briscoes signed. I guess they signed for Ring of Honor, and Ring of Honor specifically. They're not going to be in AEW. They're not going to be in Impact anymore. They're just specific to Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
And but there's still no TV deal announced. They don't know what's going on here with that. And that leads us right into John Smith. I guess another rumor. Jonathan Gresham's pretty pissed right now, and I don't think he's going to be a part of anything. And I guess that's why they curtain jerked the match with him. I think that's why he didn't walk out with Tully Blanchard. I think that's why he didn't walk out. I think it's his usual octopus thing he usually walks out with, if I remember correctly. So
Yeah, I think that's also why this match only went, like 12 minutes or something like that?
Yeah.
You know, I was expecting a clinic, and I mean, like, they had a real good match, but, only, you don't expect this short of a match for a championship match. And, I mean, the Gresham focused on Claudio's knee the whole time, putting them in holds and whatnot. But Claudio ends up going for the neutralizer. I don't know what he calls it now, and doesn't get it. Gresham flips over, gets him in an ankle lock of some sort. But then we finally get a sit-down powerbomb for the 1-2-3, and he's finally got world champion on his resume.
Yeah, it's about freaking time as the world rejoiced, right? John Smith, we were at a text conversation. We were like, "Yeah, how many people are thinking you're going to buy this?" I'm like, "Well, it depends on how many Cesaro fans there are, because this is the moment they've been waiting for God knows how long now." So yeah, congratulations to Claudio Castagnoli. He's the world champion. I will officially pronounce his name right going forward. Bonus stuff. John DeConnie, then we had a television championship match that was probably the biggest setup, because Jay Lethal has been after Samoa Joe and this title probably for about 2 months, if not more, from my recollection.
Yeah, he's been talking a lot of trash. Joe's been mostly off TV, so Lethal had been carrying the whole build, which is why I picked the way I did. But anyway, this match went about 12 and a half minutes, but they were out there for almost 20 because they went at each other on the ramp and started brawling, and it was 5, 6, 7 minutes before they even made it into the ring to start the match. Satnam Singh came down with Lethal. He helped save Lethal from going through a table before the opening bell. He then helped Jay Lethal re-injure or further injure Joe's arm by helping him wrap a chair around it, slam Samoa Joe into the post. When they finally get inside the ring, the ref decides at that point, I guess this is as good a time as any to send your corner man back, because he's already been interfering. So Singh is very surprised to find out he's not going to be able to stick around. He makes his way backstage. They finally start the match. And now Dutt didn't come out initially with Jay Lethal. So he comes out around the 11-minute mark of the actual match. He distracts the ref by coming down with the steel pole that had been used on Joe a couple weeks earlier, and he purposely drops it so that the ref yells at Dutt and is clearing the steel pipe, as behind the ref's back, Jay Lethal picks up the television strap and clocks Samoa Joe with it. But Joe kicks out at 2. Lethal goes for another lethal injection, but Joe catches him. He's got him in the RNC, but Lethal drops and turns it basically into a stunner. Lethal then tries to roll Joe up, but Joe kicks out, and kind of that you're right between my leg. He kicks out, kind of like Asuka does, and transitions right into the Asuka lock. Mm-hmm. Joe right into the coquina clutch. Lethal is forced to tap. 12 minutes, 26 seconds, and still your ROH television champion, Samoa Joe.
Yeah, this card didn't disappoint. This card did not disappoint as well. As I continue right down the list, Wheeler Yuta defeated Daniel Garcia with the seatbelt. Apparently, that's one of his new finishing maneuvers, but it's just a variation of the crucifix, which is a roll up. So check one for Ring of Honor. Congratulations, boys! Welcome back to the big times, Ring of Honor. Good job. Wheeler Yuta retained the Pure Championship. And John DeConnie, did you enjoy your match off? There was a clock on the screen for you. Did you enjoy your match off?
I'll tell you, I got up. I had to turn the volume up. I was in the other room getting a beer. I didn't have to worry. The pressure was off. It was wonderful.
Mercedes Martinez defeated Serena Deeb after the Brass City Sleeper to retain the Women's Championship. Dalton Castle and the boys, one of my personal favorites, defeated the Righteous after Dalton Castle's finishing maneuver, even though, he does that like a whirly bird spin thing. I don't know what the name of it is, though. He's one of my favorites.
Bangarang.
Was that the Dangarang? That's right, Bangarang. To win the 6-man tag team titles. And the funny thing is, those titles have been mysteriously off TV in Impact because in AEW, because Vincent and his faction were the champions at the end of it. So, Vincent did the job, came over from Impact, brought his Righteous Brothers with him to get the titles. off them. So that Dalton Castle and the boys, 2-time 6-man tag team champions. Roosh defeated Dragon Lee after you mess with the bull, you get the horns. A, great finishing maneuver. And B, I guess the question with all this is, so his real name is Roosh Lee. It sounds like a very a weird name of a Bruce Lee. I'm Roosh Lee, So I guess more members of the Lee family off of Brody's Lee's. Brody. You got Kimberly, you got Dragon Lee, you got Roosh Lee. There was a couple other ones that I can't remember right now. The Lee family is Keith Lee. There's a big one right there. Keith Lee's on the family tree. There you go. And then on the 0-hour kickoff show, pre-show, Colt Cabana defeated Anthony Henry. The Trustbusters defeated the Shinobi Shadow Squad. I was so upset by that. It was so good to see Cheeseburger again. For those of you who do not know who Cheeseburger is, Cheeseburger was Leon Ruff before Leon Ruff was Leon Ruff. The funny thing is, and they showed this when I was watching Ring of Honor for a hot second, when the Viking Raiders, in Ring of Honor there was no War Machine. They did the Viking Experience, which was not named that in Ring of Honor, obviously, but when you throw the guy, and then Cheeseburger almost hit the ceiling. They threw him so high in the air because they could. And the funny thing is you look at Cheeseburger, I guess he hit the gym, he's put on 20 pounds. So he's probably 150 pounds by now.
I was going to say, he don't look like Leon Ruff.
No, he didn't. But Cheeseburger, like I said, he put on weight. And like I said, he's probably up to $130, $150 or whatever. He's still scrawny, but good for him. Prince Nana, apparently... He purchased Tully Blanchard Enterprises. So something's wrong with... Is Tully okay? I didn't hear anything over the weekend. You got fired?
I not official, but it seems like he's right behind Gresham on his way out the door.
Wow.
At least that's what the rumor
my
is.
first thing was man, I hope Tully's okay.
Yeah.
It's because he was supposed to be the leader of this whole thing. I guess now the team of Brian Cage and the Gates of Agony, they're going to be known as the Embassy. I guess would be their faction name, head by Prince Nana. They defeated Blake Christian, Tony Depp, and Alex Zane in a trios match. And then Willow Nightingale main evented the 0-hour show. She defeated Allison Kay after a gut-wrench powerbomb. Willow Nightingale seems to be a crowd favorite. She's, I don't say the No Way Jose of the female gender, but that's the vibe I got. She's very excited, and she gets the crowd into it. So everybody loved her. So here are our standings for the first for Ring of Honor after the first show. Myself, John DeConi, had the same exact picks. We went 92 with 63 points. Gary Mehaffy also went 9-2, but who made the point system here? You get that world title match wrong. It cost you. So John Smith 7-4 also with 51 points. So that is where we are in the standings with Ring of Honor. So gentlemen. John Smith, we got a couple minutes here. Your thoughts from what you saw the first ever Ring of Honor pay-per-view. Is this good? Is this going to be around to stay? Anything off the top of your head?
I want to see what it looks like in the second show. Honestly, the first one is more like a comeback. Everything's going to be roses and candy and rainbows. But we'll see if if there's actually a TV deal and we get to see with NXT style. AEW promotion, that can be kind of like a breeding ground for the main roster.
Hey, John DeConi, wherever this TV deal lands, the NHL is going to be right on their heels trying to boot them off and get another network.
I mean, they're undefeated, so why wouldn't they take out another wrestling company?
All right, gentlemen, thank you very much. As we bid you adieu, we make the seamless transition from purple to orange and bring in our senior UK correspondent, Gary Mehaffy. Top of the evening to you, Milady. How are you this evening?
I'm better now than I was about 20 minutes ago because I brought up a wee bit of sick in my mouth when John Smith said he wasn't wearing any pants, because over here that means boxers. And I was all sorts of images I didn't want to see, but thankfully he clarified what he meant, that he was wearing shorts. So, but I swallowed the sick and I'm okay. So,
Gary, last week's NXT UK main events. I believe your tweet was the match that you didn't know you wanted to see, but now you were so happy that you got a chance to see it. Sam Gradwell, Trent Seven.
Just honestly, it just absolutely brilliant. In fact, I thought I was quite pleased, not pleased, but Sam Gradwell actually liked the tweet as well, so he must have liked the match himself. Like it was literally such a good match, and from the get-go, such a high pace, such a high click when they were going. They did get me during it because obviously from the initial dive when Sam Gradwell's like his thingy, taking a metal blank, his knee brace, when it came loose, I think, okay, he did it. And then when he hurt his knee, when Trent Seven did the dive and hurt his knee, I thought, oh, okay, we'll see as he actually done it. But both of which played into the finish, which was obviously the low blow, and then the second Seven style, Larry, because he kicked out of the first one.
Jeez.
But just absolutely superb match, just absolutely brilliant. As I said to you, I have turned the corner in the last year on Sam Gradwell, big time.
Yeah, and he's an original too, so it's good that you can say he didn't get out of the gate too swift because of his knee injury, and he was off TV for a while. Then the pandemic hit, and then they were off for a while. So it was really, I believe the pandemic hit right when he first came back from his injury. So you really didn't get a lot of Sam Gradwell, and even the point where he came back, he was just kind of putting people over. Now he's setting himself up big, maybe a Heritage Cup run. That'd be fun for Sam Gradwell. Post-match attack, though, Trent Seven didn't let up. Thwarted by a returning Tyler Bate. Gary, this is good timing. We have a month. We have 1 month till Clash at the Castle. What any thoughts, any rumblings? What are you hearing overseas about this?
Because that was the first thing I thought. When he came running in, I had two thoughts. My first thought was, they've brought him back too soon. He should have been off for longer if he was a way to find himself and all this. And my second thought straight away was, Al's right. I think they're going to do this. A Clash at the Castle was my first thought. So I am fingers crossed and toes crossed that this is going to happen. I do think they should put an NXT match on it, and I do think that both of them would be the perfect one.
Well, good news, Gary. The right guy's in charge for that match to happen over the weekend. If Hunter wants it, that would be, as you would say, Gary, brilliant.
Oh yeah.
Brilliant. Big win for Isla Dawn. I'm not that I'm going to say I didn't see this coming, but normally Isla, she kind of, it's just been putting people over and she's just been getting away with her shenanigans backstage and whatnot. But and then you throw in the ring with an NXT star that's kind of, NXT wrestlers have a pretty good record overseas at the moment. And Isla Dawn with a big win.
Yeah, I mean, I was surprised that she beat Fallon Henley, like we talked about it last week. And I'd seen it. I figured that Fallon Henley would beat her, but I'm glad to see that Isla is, and it's obviously that she did need a win that's of some description, but I figured it would maybe be against somebody like Nia Grace or something like that, as I said. But say they put her over Fallon, which is good. So
yeah, that was good. Good for Isla Dawn. Get her. She's getting in shape. You can tell she's thinning out, and the character is has just gone on its own. And she's been absolutely great. And I get excited now when I see her on TV. I'm rooting for her. Good for her. Gary, this is probably the saddest episode of the East End Bookie I think I've ever seen. Although Noam Dar's teddy bear t-shirt or whatever the hell he was wearing. Incredible Noam Dar. But did you ever get in touch with Molly Grace? Did you ever find out how much she won?
No. And in fact, I was saying to John at the Conti before we started that one of the guys in the list on the queue to get his money back was actually LJ Cleary, who's wrestling on AEW Dark tonight against Pac from the OTT match from Friday night. So there's couple of people I know who were getting money in, so I'm quids in here. Should be okay for if I need a wee loan, it should be all right.
And I think they made it a point to say that Wolfgang won the most. I think Wolfgang's pretty kind of put shot in the board.
I did like it at the end. That has to be said when Johnny Saint actually turned up at the very last one. I said, "There's unbiased officialdom for you." But
he smacks him in the back of the head. I haven't seen Johnny Saint in years. He's here to collect a gambling debt. All right, Johnny Saint, good work. Those who don't know who Johnny Saint is, he's the commissioner of NXT UK. Like Sid Scala does not run NXT UK. Johnny Saint does. So it was funny. That was good. Dave Mastiff, Josh Burrell, Gary, you kind of, I think you called this one as well. Well, you called the handshake at the end. I think you just a way around it. But the Bomber got the win, and good showing by Josh.
Oh, it really was. It's one of these how to make somebody in one night. Like Josh lost, but the moves that he did, including the Fosbury flop dive at the outside and stuff. I mean, he really, you could argue he was the better man in the match, and then lost it. But yet, everybody at the end has watched him over the last couple of months move on a wee bit and on a wee bit and on a wee bit. And on Thursday night past, he was really ready to show everything that he had. So fair play to him. So.
Then Amelia Mckenzie versus Nina Samuels. I couldn't have picked a winner in this. Nina never wins, and Amelia's job is to lose right now because of her character. I'm like, oh my God, who the hell actually wins this match? This stems back from, I guess, Amelia just blowing off the Nina Samuels show after a conversation that Amelia actually wasn't even involved in. But Amelia's back on the winning page right here. She got
is, and I could see it sort of linking into a few other things, because obviously there was a backstage segment earlier on between Sarai and Mako Satomura.
Yep.
And you can almost imagine, like we've thought for a little while, that Amelia's been given funny looks and thrown a bit of shade. And you could almost imagine her going, well, hold on, I'm winning matches and I've been here for ages and you're giving her the match, why not me?
Yeah.
And it could just be another layer to it. So honestly, like there's no rush. These storylines in NXT UK just keep building and building and building to their natural progression. So hopefully I think this will be another one.
Well, Gary, I have it in my notes right here. If you watch closely, if you watch that conversation, I'll tell you the exact reason why Miko gave the match to Sarai and not Amelia. She used the word please. Just like Ivy Nyla did. She used the word please, and Miko said, okay, let's fight. Great lesson here for the kids. If you use the magic word.
See?
Maybe more times not, you don't always get what you want, but more times than not, you get what you want. The magic word. See, it's just pro wrestling just teaches us so much about life. All right, Gary, we got 3 matches coming up this Thursday. First, we have the UK Tag Team Championship match. Briggs and Jensen off a successful title defense last week against Pretty Deadly on NXT 2.0. Had to fly back overseas. They're going to fly back overseas to get challenged by Mark Andrews and Wild Boar, who newly found friendship. They were former first friends, then enemies, now friends again.
Yeah, I think they'll be looking for another match. I dare say that Briggs and Jensen will be retaining, I would imagine, this week as well. So it'll be interesting to see who they do put them against, because you're kind of almost running out of tag teams then. So whether they bring in a couple of new ones, I don't know. But
yeah, I eventually just want to see D Familia get this, but they're not even like they're not winning matches right now. They're losing tag team, and then they just lost. They lost something recently, or they lost what's his face? Who's a Teal Man? He just lost a one-on-one match. Like if they're not winning, well, you can't give them the belts. So yeah, I'm gonna go Briggs and Jensen as well. And I'd love to see D Familia be the ones that end up with this. Unless Eddie Dennis has something else in his back pocket that we're just not aware of, because you got to feel it with Briggs and Jensen. It's got to be a heel team that does it. So, Amal rewatched her match the week prior with Stevie Turner, listening to Blair Davenport's commentary. She didn't appreciate some of the comments Blair had, so she found Blair and told her she was going to take it out in the ring. So we're going to have Blair Davenport and Amal this Thursday, and as a athletic supporter of female wrestling, I like this match.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to it. And it's good to see Blair back, and I dare say that this will be Blair taking the win again. I think it'll be close enough because they've given them all. I don't think they'll just like completely squash her or flatten her, but I do think that that'll be Blair will go over. So.
Yeah, there's no reason. Yeah, she was. It's like we don't know if she was supposed to win the title. Maybe she was. Maybe she wasn't. I guess we'll never know. But yeah, she's got to get back at it. And yeah, I'm gonna go Blair Davenport as well. And then we had the big UK Championship match. They had a sit down last week to discuss a few things. It's gonna be Ilya Dragunov defending against Wolfgang. Wolfgang, day one guy. I think this is his first crack. I don't think he ever challenged Walter for the world title, or the UK title, excuse me. So
No,
I think this is Wolfie's first crack at the big boy belt.
Yeah, and it's interesting too because when they had to sit down, all I could think was we actually do need more main eventers at the minute, and on different main eventers, because you've had Walter who left and Rampage Brown who was out injured and Joe Coffey who was there or thereabouts, but he's in, he's out, he's doing the hokey cookie and all, like, so you're kind of going like what's going to happen. So it'll be interesting to see. I dare say if it happens, it'll be Ilya going over. So
yeah,
it's good to see Wolfgang getting moved up a bit.
I like that Wolfgang's getting the shot, and I like that, it's I'll be shocked. I'll be shocked if Dragunov drops it to Wolfgang. Yeah. That's two belts. That's the two major singles titles for Gallus that Joe Coffey couldn't get done.
Yeah.
So there's a story there too. If Wolfie does get this done, you want to see. Joe Coffey was pretty happy last week when Mark won, or 2 weeks ago when Mark won the Heritage Cup. But I don't know if he's going to be too happy if Joe. Joe's trying twice for that title. He made it 2 takeovers to try to get that title from Pete Dunne and from Tyler Bate, or from Walter, excuse me, and he couldn't get it done. So, Gary, thank you so much for joining us as always this week. We will talk. Can't wait to talk to you next week about these matches, and we will see you for those of the UK. Gary, I guess as I said in pre-production, I wanted to make the official drop that we were doing this during your segment, but 30 years ago, Gary, 30 years ago.
Tell you what, it's unbelievable to think it's 30 years ago, and I remember going to the house at the top of my street where a guy was getting on pay-per-view, and we went to his house to watch it. It was the first time I'd been to somebody else's house to watch one, so I remember that night well. Great match, but I can't believe it is 30 years ago.
Yeah, I remember watching that show. I remember watching that show live as well. Like, you have Randy Savage versus the Ultimate Warrior. How are you not main eventing with that? Like, why are you main eventing with the Intercontinental Championship? Like, as a young age, it took me a while to put 2 and 2 together. I'm like, oh, duh. Yeah. Okay. Now it makes sense. So, Gary, thank you so much for joining us. We will see you next week.
Yep. See you then. Have a good one.
You too. We'll see you Saturday, not even next week. We'll see you Saturday. Yeah. Now it brings back in John Smith. That will bring back in John DeConnie as we go to Fyter Fest week 2. Who's got this match? John DeConnie. John DeConnie. Barbed wire everywhere. You had a shark cage involved that wasn't over the ring. I guess maybe the arena that they were in didn't allow for a cage to be hung over. I guess the ceiling maybe too low. It was almost like they were sitting in the crowd, just like elevated. So they weren't up all too high. The fear of heights that 2.0 was worried about, that didn't come into play. So that was good.
Yeah, it wasn't much of an effort or an issue because they didn't spend a whole lot of time in it. Almost immediately after Jericho and Kingston got at it, Ruby Soho, a pal of Eddie Kingston, was just hanging out at ringside. Well, Tay Conti came down to jump her. She comes down in ringside. She takes a swing at Ruby. Meanwhile, barbed wire madness is going on next to them. But Anna Jay comes down. We saw last week some words between her and her former bestie, Tay Conti. Weren't really sure where she stood. And then she punched Ruby, and all the questions were answered. So Anna went about lowering the shark cage. Conti grabbed the keys off the timekeeper or whomever had them. She went over there and freed the Jericho Appreciation Society. They all gang up on Kingston. That brought out Claudio, Santana, and Ortiz to kind of neutralize them, and they kind of dispersed out into the crowd. Back into the ring where Jericho is in the stretch plum. And not only is he in the stretch plum, but they're using a strip of barbed wire. So Jericho's being, stuck or choked with it or whatever. It's looking bad. But the one person who wasn't in the shark cage, because we hadn't seen him in a little while, Sammy Guevara showed up. He saves Jericho with a I forget. I think he had a tennis racket or something like that. I forget. There was a low blow involved or something like that. Some piece of plunder. Then Jericho grabbed that loose piece of barbed wire, wrapped it around his arm to aid him in hitting the Judas effect and getting the 1, 2, 3. He gets the win. Match only goes 13 minutes or so. It was plenty bloody. There was plenty of mayhem going on. But just for good measure at the end, as Jericho is celebrating, Eddie Kingston grabs him and tosses him off the ring apron to 5 feet away. There was like a 10-foot by 10-foot sandbox, if you will, except it was filled with barbed wire and not sand. Jericho lands in it. It looked like he landed with his neck on a piece of barbed wire, so I thought it was going to be uglier than it was at the end. We ended the night with Jericho screaming in agony, bloody like you wouldn't believe, but he got the W.
Yeah, and a broken nose, too, apparently. I guess Kingston, went with a chair shot or something. I don't know. It was a complete accident at the top of that chair or whatever. It hit Jericho in the nose and ended up breaking it. So, yeah, one. These death matches, though, they never seem to, hit expectations, to me at least. It was better than a bomb not going off in the middle of the ring at the pay-per-view, but it was still.
Sparklers.
Yep. John DeCounty then made a match with Darby Allin, Brody King. You kind of called it. You had your exact quote because you made fun of yourself on the conversation thread.
Something to the effect of, there's no way in hell Brody King should lose to a man a third of his size, but it's Darby Allin, so that's exactly why it will happen.
Yep.
Well, it looked like that was what was going to happen because my man. Brody once again choked Darby out just like he did at the end of Royal Rampage, dropped him to the floor unconscious. He somehow gets up just in time to slide back in before the 10 count, and that's where I'm sitting at home going, yep, this is where he, does some kind of jumping, twisting, this and that and the other, and he somehow gets the win on this man that there's no way in hell he should beat. But the second he slid back in, King grabbed him right up, dropped him for a gonzo bomb. 1, 2, 3. Brody King gets the win. But wait, there's more. King goes about putting the boots to Darby afterwards, laying in a little bit more punish. And it's Sting. Sting comes out to save his buddy. Lights go out. Lights back on. Malachi Black appears. He's nose to nose with Sting. What's going to happen here? Before they get a chance to really go at it, Miro's music hits. Now, if you remember a week earlier, Miro kind of got involved or had something to say about the House of Black, but Miro's not quite sure where he stands. He asked his God, was the House of Black here to fight me or to recruit me? Well, Miro came about halfway down the ramp, locked eyes with Malachi Black. That's how we went to commercial. We don't know, we had no reports of them brawling afterwards. We still don't know, does Miro get added to the House of Black and make them murderous?
Yeah, how do you stop that? Yeah.
Or does he have a really fun time going through each one of them, which is probably where we're headed, but we just don't know at this point.
League of Nations.
Birth of the League of
2.0.
John Smith, we had a match with Christian and Luchasaurus against the Varsity Blondes. I was excited for about 5 minutes.
Yeah, that's what you want to call it, a match. It wasn't much of a match.
No, the intro. Yeah, Christian's music I get excited for.
True.
Yeah. We're everyone.
So Christian starts the match, but not really. He tags Luchasaurus in. Luchasaurus destroys the Varsity Blondes for like about a minute and a half before Christian decides to tag himself back in to make the cover for the pin. So match is over. We all knew that was how it was going to go down. I don't think we all thought it would be that short of a match, but whatever. But then Cool Mint Listerine music hits, and out comes a bottle on a rope. Oh no, that's the commercial. Jungle Boy comes out. Luchasaurus gets in his way, but then steps aside. So now it's a face turn for Luchasaurus as quickly. So he's the new Big Show, basically. And
That was a pretty quick face turn, heel turn, face turn. Yeah,
we get Jungle Boy chasing Christian into the crowd, but we don't see much of it. Anything after that, I think. I don't. Maybe they showed it after commercial or something, but might have missed it.
I just love Christian still has it in him. Like when he tagged himself in, he positioned himself to face the hard cam. Like that's just a WWE thing to do, but he knows it's the right thing to do. Turn him around all the way so he can look up to the camera. I thought that was funny. I don't know why that's in my. That match was so short. Oh, Christian faced the hard cam for the pinfall. And then there was a what was supposed to be a trios women's match turned into a tag team match. I guess Leela Gray couldn't make it for whatever reason. Jade Cargill, Kiera Hogan defeated Athena, Willow Nightingale after a jaded on Willow. As we go from week 2 Dynamite to week 2 Rampage, John Silver, actually still on Dynamite, John Silver tried to give the Butcher and the Blade Butch shirts, which I thought was fun because he's such a fan. The Butcher and the Blade, because he's the meat man. He's such a fan. He likes the Butcher. You get it? It's Johnny Hungry. Yeah. Butcher and the Blade proceeded to beat down Silver and Reynolds until Hangman came to thwart the attack. I didn't know that was still a thing. Hangman Page and John Silver, they had a tag team match on Rampage. They defeated Butcher and the Blade after a buckshot lariat on the Big Butcher. Jay Lethal defeated Christopher Daniels after a lethal injection. Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter defeated In Action after a lockjaw. Max Caster won a rap battle against Austin Gunn. Okay. Which eventually turned into a brawl. And then going into next week first, we will go. These are our standings, our AEW standings after week 2 of Fyter Fest. And look at John Smith throwing up the perfect pay-per-view, trying to get back in this thing. Everyone gets 3 points. John Smith gets 10.
Wow.
So now John Smith is now our perfect pay-per-view leader.
Woo!
John DeConnie leads the overall standings by a slim margin over myself. John Smith right behind along with Gary Smith. But John, I do believe with that perfect pay-per-view, I think you leapfrog Gary in the standings, if my math is correct.
It was a 5-point bonus, right?
That was a 5-point bonus, exactly.
Yep. And I'm beating them by 4. Yeah, Gary.
All right, so this week coming up in AEW will be Fight for the Fallen, which is a charity thing that they do every year. This year they're partnering with Oceana to help defend the world's ocean and marine life. To help support the Finn band, please text SHARK to 70707. So let me change the banners here first before we get phoned. This week we're going to start with the Rampage match first. Because what happened on last week's Rampage, Lee Moriarty defeated Dante Martin after the roll-up check one for AEW. But he was holding on to the ropes. Matt Sydal didn't like that underhandedness of the victory. So now Matt will step into the ring against Lee on Rampage. It will be student versus teacher, John DeConnie. And I hate saying it that way because the teacher should have the respect if he listened first. The teacher versus student.
Yeah, I'm gonna say I didn't think Moriarty was going to win last week. So when he did, I don't think there's any reason why he should lose to Matt Sydal. So give me Moriarty.
John Smith.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, it seems like this is going to be the new thing now. Lee's going to be cheating to win. And I guess it wasn't. I don't know if it was an official heel turn. I saw something, on Rampage on Facebook. Rampage, somebody big heel turn. Oh, Lee Moriarty. So, we'll keep it going with Lee. Might as well, right? And then tomorrow night on Dynamite. Back there we go. Tomorrow night on Dynamite, we got 4 matches booked. The first one after last week's, Ricky Stark's successful title defense against Cole Carter to retain the FTW title. After Carter missed a 450 and Starks followed it up with a spear. Starks on the microphone wants another challenger, and it's Danhausen. Danhausen came out. I like the FTW title thing. But I want it now. So, my favorite AEW wrestler gets a title shot, and I think he's going to win, specifically because of the lineage of his title, and it's going to absolutely break Taz's heart. Taz, Sabu, Brian Cage, Ricky Starks, Danhausen. Oh, this is too good, John DeConnie. This is too good. Give me Danhausen all the way. New FTW champion.
Oh, my God. Had they started that match last week, that was exactly my thought. Like, oh, my God. oh my God, Danhausen's going to take the belt here.
Yes.
But the fact that they wait, I felt like that was the moment. So now I feel like maybe Hook comes out and Danhausen thinks his buddy's out here to help him. And instead he makes sure that the FTW title stays with Team Taz. I'm going to say Starks retains, but I like your thinking, and I think it's not crazy that it might happen.
Yeah, I forgot about Hook and this whole thing, and that is a huge. Where does he go? You think John Smith? You think he'd stay with his father, and or maybe he's the one that tries to get the FTW belt back, and Danhausen just kind of like Toro Yanu's his way to victory after victory to keep it. That'd be funny. There's a lot you can do with this, and they're not going to do any of it.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to give Danhausen that belt. Sorry, Al.
I curse you. Okay. There's a celebration for the new tag team champions, thanking the crowd for their support, interrupted by Mark Sterling and Tony Nese trying to get Kevin Gates. I thought they said Kevin James. Like, man, Kevin James, that does not look like the King of Queens. It wasn't Kevin Gates to sign their petition to get Swerve off the AEW roster. He said no, so Gates punched Tony Nese. Swerve threw a cake in Sterling's face. It was a good celebration by the champs, but now tomorrow night, John Smith, there's going to be a handicap match with Tony Nese and Smart Mark Sterling on one side against Swerve Strickland on the other, and Keith Lee will be banned from ringside. So can Swerve get this done by himself?
I think so. Yeah, I think there will be some sort of implosion, like they knock heads or something, something stupid that gives Swerve like the advantage to maybe get a Raw roll up for AEW.
Good, John DeConnie. They're behind right now. They're looking to catch up.
Yeah, I mean, like I understand that Sterling's issue is with Swerve, but this would make so much more sense if Keith Lee was the one in the handicap match, because then he could literally just pick Nese up and beat Sterling with him. Yeah, handicap match works better with the big man, but I think Swerve still gets the job done here because, no offense to Tony Nese, but nobody cares about Sterling, and I don't see them. They're not necessarily doing anything with Nese other than using him to get Sterling on TV.
Exactly. I was about to ask that. Like, Tony Nese has been on every week, it seems like, for a while now. Like, I didn't realize that. Like, I don't know. I just shot. Like, oh, Tony Nese again. Tony Nese again. Like, he was just so bastardized. I mean, he was great on 205 Live, and he was a great champion. He won the title at WrestleMania. I mean, he's got a huge, it's not that he was bad, but it's like, wow, good for Tony Nese. Good for him. Good for him.
AEW stands for All X WWE.
Oh,
that
makes sense. Or all future WWE. Again, it's going to be funny how many when those contracts get up, how many go back now. Like the whole game is. I don't want to use the word game changer, John Smith, because I believe the box, whatever AEW page doesn't like that word. But
we're going to be getting a little Adam Cole, baby.
Yeah, like Adam Cole to be WWE champion.
I can't wait until Adam Cole comes back.
There was a backstage with Thunderstorm. Rosa says she will defend the women's championship against Mayu Yamashita. John Smith.
Wait, did you just say something?
No, I did not. I'm just pronouncing a name. Too soon. John DeConnie, go.
And Thunder Rosa retains. Moving along.
I thought the standings were awkward. Now it's really awkward.
Jesus Christ.
All right, we'll all go Thunder Rosa. Bryan Danielson makes his return. I guess he wasn't planning on it. He didn't say he was going to be gone for a long time. This has been like 4, 5, 6 weeks, something like that. I don't know. So he's got Daniel Garcia. Daniel Garcia and John DeConnie coming off a loss at Death Before Dishonor in a great match. So see what Danny G can do here.
Yeah, I'm sure it will be a very good match, but I assume Danielson is going to get back to his wicked ways from before his injury, where he was just stretching and beating and stomping mother lovers. So I'm going to say Danielson takes this.
John Smith.
This is a tough one. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Danielson also.
Yeah, get the pose at the end. It'd be good. It'd be good. And then John Dakar, I remember last week, the best friends against the Blackpool Combat Club. Like, I can't remember why would these guys even fight? Wheeler Yuta, I forgot about that when they mentioned Wheeler Yuta used to be with best friends, and he turned his back and went with Regal once they formed this thing. And then I believe he got hazed and whipped and got his head shaved, and then Wheeler Yuta is now a part of the Blackpool Combat Club, whatever the initiation is for that. Blackpool Combat Club defeated the best friends after Wheeler Yuta rolled up Taylor with the seatbelts. That's 2 for Wheeler Yuta in 1 week. 4 different companies. I believe somebody else just did that too. I think didn't Liv Morgan just do that? 2 roll-ups in the same week under different brands. Anyway,
Yeah.
but that's going to lead in to Jon Moxley. He's going to defend the interim AEW World Championship against Bruce Lee. John Smith.
I'm definitely not Bruce Lee.
That's gonna stick. Although, I do believe John DeConnie during Death Before Dishonor in their match, Roosh has a very impressive record. I believe he was pinned twice in the entirety of Ring of Honor or something like that, and he was champion for ever. And it was this match is should be sneaky or tough than it's actually gonna be, but you just don't see anybody beating Moxley other than CM Punk.
Exactly. In fact, it's almost a waste to use Roosh in this spot because he's almost certainly going to lose. Just put him with Andrade and let them go after the tag titles. That's going to be something to watch. But, I think Moxley retains here. I don't see any reason why he wouldn't.
Now, the big question is if Moxley messes with the bull and gets the horns. Mess with the bull, you get to it. Great name for a finisher. I like it. So that will do it for AEW as we go to Impact Wrestling. And that match, the more and more it went, John DeConnie, Alex Shelley, Chris Sabin, incredible match. I mean, we all knew that. I guess they fought 7 times, I think Phillips said. Not Phillips, whatever his name is. Tom Phillips said on announcing they fought 7 times. There was 1 no contest. Sabin won 5 of them. Shelley snuck in the 1, and that it's. I hit the wrong graphic. It was just an absolutely amazing match, and the more and more it went on, the more I'm like, oh my god, Shelley's gonna win this. Shelley's gonna win this. I think Shelley's gonna win this. And Shelley brought his A game. He was vicious in that match. That was not nothing to sneeze at. That was absolutely great.
Absolutely, and you know what? I think before the match even started for me, I had made that turn in my head. Because they were just talking about it so much, he's never had this. It's his turn. It's his time. And by the time the match started, I was like, yeah, it really makes sense. I mean, obviously Sabin and Josh was a fantastic match for the X Division title, and it would be again for the world title. But Shelley hasn't been there yet. Well, here we go. They went for almost 26 minutes, and it was everything you wanted. A winner was us, without a doubt. Sabin hit the clothesline from hell, Michigan, and set up for the cradle shock. Shelley escaped. He countered into sliced bread. He got a 2 count. He transitioned right in the Motor City stretch, but Sabin used that as a roll-up and gets a 2 count on Shelley. They get back to their feet. Shelley hits the shell shock. 2 count again. Again, Shelley uses Sabin's shoulder shooting off the match to roll him right over and snatch him into the Motor City stretch once again. This time he's got it locked in good. He wrenches back. There's no choice. Sabin has to submit. Alex Shelley is moving on to face Josh Alexander for the Impact World Championship. Afterwards, they raise each other's arms. There's some sportsmanship. There's a hug. These guys are great friends. But doesn't last very long because Diener and Joe Doring come down. They're trying to prove something to EY. They jump the 2 of them. But there's another friendship connection going on, and it was alluded to earlier in the show. Shelley's not the only tag partner of note that Sabin has had. In fact, his old tag partner supposed to debut this week. Well, they weren't letting it go because Diener and Doring were lumping up Sabin and Shelley. Kushida arrived a week ahead of time to make the save as the show ends. The time splitters are back. They're at least in the same company again. So who knows where this is going, but Kushida's an Impact, and that's a good thing.
John Connie, our buddy Jack's chiming in now. Wants to know what your WrestleMania win percentage is. I know it's over 500. John Smith and I believe, are at 5. I'm under 500.
Well, I know
he's the best out of the three of us, Jags. I can tell you that right now. By far, he's the best out of the three of us.
And I had a miserable the year that Bianca won the title after winning Royal Rumble. Mm-hmm. I had a miserable Mania. So I don't know where I am overall, but I know I had one where it got ugly.
Well, tune in to Saturday, April 1st at 2 p.m. It will be our WrestleMania 30 I don't even number again. Special. April 1st. No joke.
39. WrestleMania 39.
You got 39 already? Wow. There was a backstage promo with Honor No More. OGK wants the tag titles. Vincent wants Heath. Eddie Edwards again chews out PCO for not helping or protecting Vincent when he got when Heath got him with the what did he get him with?
Wake up call.
Attacked him. I can't remember the name. The roster cut. No, that's Cardona, right?
Wake up call.
Wake up call. Again, PCO just Eddie. Why? Like, get off him! Like he's a 55-year-old monster. The fact that he's standing there, leave him alone.
If there was a reason for those two to eventually have like a big brawl over a belt or something like that, I totally get it. But now it just feels like Edwards is picking on him.
Yes. So, John Smith, we finally have a team name for Chelsea Green and our beloved Jersey girl, Deonna Purrazzo. Vexed.
Yeah, I thought she might have chosen maybe like Taylor ham, egg, and cheese the way she's been looking lately. But
wow.
She had the title. She looked svelte, and now all of a sudden, anyway, these are probably the 4 top women in their division in the company. You throw Valkyrie in there too, I guess. Maybe Rosemary. I don't really like Rosemary, but this was a good, pretty good match. They all hit their stuff. The end comes up, and Jordan Grace is not in the corner when Mia goes for the tag. So she turns back around and gets double suplexed by Vex, a.k.a. Taylor Ham, Egg, and Cheese, for the victory. And then they are given a title shot afterwards backstage, the tag title shot.
Yeah, they wanted a shot. They just beat the Knockouts Women's Champion and the number 1 contender. They wanted a Knockouts Championship match, and Gail Kim said, nah, how about we'll give you guys the tag titles instead? And speaking of the tag team champions, Rosemary, Taya, and Jessica. Jessica is turning into Taya Valkyrie, which is hysterical, and that's going to drive Rosemary absolutely crazy. So that tag team championship match scheduled for emergence on Friday, August 12th. Again, Impact, for whatever reason, going up against both SmackDown and Rampage. John DeConnie, we have a busy night ahead of us that night.
Yeah.
So that's going to be fun. John Smith, we had an X Division championship match as well. Mike Bailey said the week before, hey, Diener, he didn't have to attack me. If he just wanted a title shot, he could have just asked.
Yeah, so we got Diener versus my boy Speedball, a.k.a. Fat Sack Mike Bailey. This guy's a highlight reel every time you watch him, man. One point he did a corkscrew shooting star press. I think he might have gotten 2 360s in on that one. Off of the mat, too, not even off the top rope. It was crazy. I didn't realize until this match that he wrestles barefoot.
Yeah,
he's got those things on his legs, so I never realized he was barefoot underneath those things.
Pads, but barefoot, very odd.
Makes it even more impressive. Joe Doring didn't get involved, but got close to being involved, which gave him the distraction to Diener for a little while. It didn't really give him the advantage though, because by the end of it, he ended up getting double kneed off the second rope, back flipping double knee, so, and still.
Yeah, so successful title defense for Mike Ball, Speed Bailey. There was a backstage interview with Macklin. Sammy can play all the games he wants. Macklin was built for war. Sammy popped up just to get his ass kicked by both Macklin and Moose. So Moose is not letting this go. It's a 2-on-1. Sammy Callahan, not really known for having friends, John DeConnie. I can think of one. Anyone have eyes on Ken Shamrock lately?
And he's still suspended?
He might still be suspended from 2 years ago. Anyway, Bhupinder Gujjar, or Gujar, I always say that wrong. Bhupinder Gujar.
Bujinder, that is his name.
Approached Brian Myers again to challenge him for the digital media title, but Myers heard that Vincent from Honor No More was talking trash to Gujar. So a real champ never backed down from a challenge. Right? So go find Vincent, fight him. He's giving him back. Brian Myers continues to shine. We have a couple of matches set up this week for Impact on Thursday night. Masa Slamovich, she defeated Madison Rayne after snowplow post-match. She handed an envelope to Giselle, so it looks like Giselle's turn is next, John DeConnie.
Yeah, once again, there's no point in picking who's going to win this. It's just setting the over-under. Let's say minute 15.
Madison Rayne just sitting right at the bottom going across minute 13. I forget what Tennille was. She was probably around the minute 15 mark as well.
Yeah.
I want to go over. I like Giselle John Smith. You knew that, though.
Minute 15. I'll go under.
All right. Minute 15. Killer Kelly, she had another vignette. She arrives this Thursday as well. So the women's division, the Knockouts division, is getting pretty stacked up again. On an Impact Plus digital segment. Johnny Swinger solved the mystery on who Laredo Kid actually is. It's Bob Seger. I guess you didn't know that. So Swinger isn't happy that Bob Seger was coming in Impact to screw his career, just like Swinger did when he stole the girl from Seger years ago. So here comes, I guess, Laredo Kid doesn't speak English. Here comes Trey Miguel to just back off Johnny Swinger, Zicky Dice. We have this tag team match this Thursday night. They're taking Johnny Swinger and Zicky Dice off BTI, and they're putting him in the ring against Trey Miguel and the Laredo Kid, John Smith. Sorry, Bob Seger and Trey Miguel.
Bob Seger. Yeah, give me Trey's team.
Yeah, good call. John DeConnie, bonus point.
Yeah, I think even if it was Bob Seger, I'd still take Trey Miguel's team.
The Bullet Club last week, Ace Austin, Chris Bay, they defeated OGK after Heath interfered, allowing Ace Austin to hit the fold. This week, we got Eddie Edwards, Ace Austin. Just Impact does nothing. He just wins for me every single week. Ace Austin, I spy a Jersey guy, John Smith.
Yeah, I got to go with Eddie though. He's the leader of Honor No More, so I feel like he's got to win. Yeah.
John DeConnie.
Yeah, I mean, unless they pulled another couple of Bullet Club members out of nowhere that come crossing through the door to help them, I think Eddie's got to get a victory here.
Okay, I'm going to go with Ace. Keep that Bullet Club juice rolling here. Did they turn face, by the way? Is the Bullet Club a face thing now? I know the Good Brothers were kind of worried because of the whole tag team thing. But it seemed like Chris Bay and Ace Austin, they were just going to stay back. I mean, now it just seems like the crowd was cheering them. They were pandering with the Too Sweet stuff. And
well, they've been feuding with the major heels, Honor No More, so I guess they're de facto faces.
Yeah.
But they could go do heelish stuff at any time, I guess.
In a random match, our Impact World Champion has a non-title match, John DeConnie. Josh Alexander versus Mahali Balachira.
How about that? I totally missed that one.
It's amazing what you find on Twitter the day of the show. Let me check the Impact Twitter to see if I missed anything. That's when I saw the Swinger backstage of the digital package.
Don't they know our schedule by now? We need to know this stuff a little further in advance, damn it. Give me Josh, winning. Shira's a monster, but I don't see any reason for him to get the victory here.
John Smith.
Wait, what was the match again? Sorry.
Mahali Balachira. Shira he's with Raj Singh right now running around. Going up against Josh Alexander in a non-title match, and I doubt Shira means it'll be a triple threat at Emergence. Yeah,
give me Josh, I guess, even though it is non-title.
Yeah, it's right down there on the bottom ticker, John DeConnie. See, Josh Alexander versus Shira. There you go.
Oh,
the match right after that. Probably going to main event the show because I can't imagine whatever.
Is that his name? Is that his real name that you're saying? The Mahabala thing?
Mahabali Shira. Mahabala is his first name.
Okay.
They actually WWE'd him. They took that away a while ago.
I'm sure
But
they'll
when
do
he
it.
first came out as a dancing Indian, kind of like what Shanky is. That's who he was when he first debuted in Impact. He was like dancing with the crowd, doing whatever he was doing. And he was Mahalabala. Rich Swan wants the world title back now that he's got his mojo back. Tamura can't help him with that yet because, like I said, the match is going to be Josh Alexander versus Alex Shelley at Emergence. But next week, Rich Swan gets to fight Kushida, who John Dakani said returned at the end of the main event of last week's show between Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin due to his relationship with Alex Shelley as a time splitters. And fun fact, isn't that how Kushida debuted in? Wasn't there a mystery team in the Dusty Rhodes Classic years ago? It was Alex Shelley and Kushida.
I don't recall.
Yeah, me either.
I don't recall Alex Shelley ever being in NXT.
It was just that one match. They lost to whoever they were fighting, and then Kushida went on, and then Alex Shelley he just left again. Yeah, that was his one. Alex Shelley had one match in NXT, the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. Anyway, so we got Rich Swan and Kushida, two great former NXT UK, NXT Cruiserweight champions, not to mention everything that Kushida's won over in Japan and everything Rich Swan has won in Impact. John Dakani is our senior Impact correspondent. Who do you got?
Swan has been having a rough time of it, and Kushida is debuting. I got to think Kushida takes this one, but this is going to be a great match. Yeah, buddy.
John Smith, I'm going to go with Rich Swan on this. Like I said, if he's pushing that world title button, they got to get something going. I don't think Kushida's sticking around. And that's another thing. I don't think as much as I would love to see Kushida in Wrestle House on Thanksgiving night. I don't think it's. They better do that again. Like I can't wait. I can't wait for Wrestle House on Thanksgiving. I can't wait for Winter War. John Smith.
I gotta go with Kushida in his first match back. You could be right that he's not going to be sticking around for a while, but why even come in if you're just going to lose right off the bat? So, I'm going with Kushida on this one.
Okay.
Maybe some interference somewhere. Maybe it's not clean. Not like that Kushida orchestrated it, but maybe Moose does something. Who knows?
That will do it for Impact Wrestling this Thursday night. We transition not so seamlessly. Normally the UK version of NXT to the stateside version of it is a little more seamless. But John Dakani, last week we had a 20-woman battle royal. I thought we counted 20 on the screen. Looks like we were incorrect because somebody who was not on the graphic won the match.
Yeah, exactly. I
think that was the last Vince McMahon move in NXT then, right? Is again booking somebody not in the match to win the match. Yep.
There you go. So, yes. We got down to our final four. It was, everyone, every woman that they could find, they pulled out for this one because they had to get 20 in there. We got down to the final four being Tiff Stratton, Kiana James, Nikita Lyons, and the returning Zoe Stark. Lyons eliminates Kiana James after a spinning roundhouse and a toss over the top. Stratton comes right up behind Nikita, and dumps her over the top right afterwards.
I popped on that one. Like, oh my God. I was like,
and then Zoe Starks manages to eliminate Tiffany Stratton, and she thought she had won at that point because these were the only people left. What she didn't remember, and we found out pretty quickly, was that very early on, Cora Jade had been chased backstage by Ivy Nile. Ivy Nile made it back in and eventually got eliminated. Cora Jade never did. We didn't see her make her way back out. She went up the entryway. When she came back in, she came from where the announce desk used to be. So on the totally different side. But luckily, Zoe Stark saw her out of the corner of her eye just in time to dip the shoulder, backdrop her. She went flying out of the ring because she weighs 52 pounds. Zoe Stark is your winner of the Battle Royal and therefore gets a shot at Mandy's championship.
Yeah, Corey needs to work on her heel tactics because I believe in women's battle royals in the past, and specifically the two at WrestleMania, they both ended the same way with somebody being on the outside and then jumping somebody. Carmella did it, and then I think Naomi did it. So Corey needs to work on her heel tactics a little bit. But the swerve was good. The swerve was good on Roxy. But yeah, last night on Raw, they were promoting the commercials, and even if you go on Twitter, WWE.com, they don't have the match listed, but it almost sounded like they were having Mandy Rose versus Zoe Stark tonight. So they didn't make it official. They didn't call it a match. If it's not on WWE.com, I guess we don't have to pick it, but I guess just a real quick knee-jerk reaction just in case. We'll maybe talk more about it in depth next week, if it happens next week, or maybe at some type of since SummerSlam's this weekend, they would have had a takeover or whatever, a premium live event announced by now. So, John Smith, original thoughts, Mandy Rose, Zoe Stark?
My first thought was there's no way Zoe Stark is beating Mandy Rose.
All right, John McConney.
I agree with John Smith, but now that things are changing, I'm hesitant about everything because I just don't know where. I mean, Zoe Stark, they had her teaming with EO before she got hurt. They obviously, at some point, someone thought a lot of her. They, didn't hype her comeback. She pops up. She wins this battle royal. I'm gonna say she doesn't win, but that would be one of those. Hey, it's a new day in the company things to do. So. Yeah. I'm going to be holding my breath throughout that match to see exactly how it goes down.
All right. Hunter's a big Zoe. I can see her just losing this, and then we see her on SmackDown next week. Hunter's a huge fan of hers. So there's an in-ring promo earlier in the night with Cora Jade. She was pissed that Roxy went right after Mandy instead of concentrating on the tag team titles. Roxy is a selfish bee. And then she went full Medusa on the tag team championships. And what I mean by that, there's Alundra Blaze back in the day was WWF Women's Champion. Contract expired while she was still champion. So WCW signed her, and she brought the Women's Championship to Nitro and dumped it in the garbage can. Pretty reminiscent. Not as drastic, but pretty reminiscent there. Nice callback. And apparently Alundra Blaze was on Twitter applauding Cora Jade doing the reenactment. So good for that. John Smith, the Irish Ace made his in-ring debut for NXT as he wrestled Cameron Grimes in the opening contests.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, this is the match that Cesaro and Gresham should have been. I'll tell you, because this was JD McDonough focused on the knee. Grimes was selling like mad. They did all sorts of, innovative maneuvers and stuff. So definitely worth going back and watching. You got Joe Gacy in the crowd, as kind of a distraction for Grimes, because I guess they're going in that direction. So he got his attention a couple times. The way the match ends is the hurt leg gets caught in the ropes, and McDonough kicks it about 1,000 times before the ref finally gets the leg out. They get back in the ring, and then he does his launching angle slam or whatever he calls it, and 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, I think they have to rename the Devil Inside. So that was a great play on words. Devil Inside. Absolutely. That was a great play. A great name for a finishing mover. Post-match, Grimy was not too happy. Joe Gacy approached him, and Grimy answered Joe Gacy as against everybody else. Not now. Like, he's just said, this is not fun-loving Cameron Grimes anymore. He is upset. Braun Breaker did an in-ring promo. We'll go right back to JD McDonough. JD wanted his attention, so now he's got it. McDonough appeared on the Titantron, saying he's going to dissect Braun, specifically Braun's shoulders. So that match to happen eventually at some point down the line. John Smith, unfortunately, we're going to throw this match to Gary because it was a UK. It's his jurisdiction. He had DVR issues. So we'll throw it to you. Pretty Deadly, trying to regain the belt that they held so proudly overseas.
Yeah, well, doing it in quarter-length cow print long sleeve shirts and tassels on the sides of their brown corduroy pants.
They're tasty snacks.
Yeah, they came out with cowboy hats. It was a yeehaw. They did like the whole thing. These guys are priceless. I love them.
Yeah, good.
Like a winner is you whenever these guys come out. Like it's not even their matches. It's just like their whole gimmick and aura is unbelievable. But this is the longest match I've ever seen with Briggs and Jensen. They can go. You know what? Wasn't anything spectacular. Fallon Henley got involved a couple times, playing tug of war with one of the belts. With towards the end of the match, then kind of a distraction, setting him up for the clothesline sweep double team maneuver finisher by Briggs and Jensen for the 1-2-3. But I guess Pretty Deadly's going to end up complaining that Fallon got involved. So I think that this isn't over with.
So it turns out I was right all along. The dyad turned out to be grizzled young veterans, and I'm shocked. I did not think that those two were as big as they were, or maybe they just wrestled a smaller tag team that one time where I'm like, okay. Well,
it could have not even been them wrestling under those hoods this whole time, and then they just decided that it would be these two, you know?
Yeah, if it was them, they were wrestling with multiple sweatshirts on or something like that, because those dudes were just bigger.
They are now going by the names of Rip Fowler and I believe Jagger Reed.
Yeah.
Is James Jagger Reed?
I would have went with Phil McCracken.
Phil McCracken. Tell you what, Gibson looks weird without the goatee and everything. Oh. Hey, but you know what? It could be where they were in Future Endeavor. I was worried about them for a very long time because they had been absent for quite some time. So I was. Axiom made his debut. He defeated A-Kid after a Liu Kang kick that A-Kid used to use. Interesting.
Dante Chen.
Interesting. Another important member of the Lee family, Wesley, the Dragon Lee or Roosh Lee, he's going to fight Grayson Waller tonight. I missed Wes's interview. I forget what I was doing. It was a week ago. I don't remember what I did today. But it's going to be Wesley. It's going to be Grayson Waller, John Smith. I like this match too, a lot.
Yeah, just given the way that they push Grayson Waller, I think he's going to end up taking this one.
Okay. John DeConnie, Wesley, he's got that, he's been winning a lot of matches. He probably hasn't. Didn't he beat Senga? He's been winning a lot of matches. We didn't really think he'd survive the split up of MSK, and now he's just beating all these guys. So this has been a good little run for Wes.
Yeah, but like John said, the way Waller seems to be just below that upper tier of NXT, and the fact that Wesley mentioned that he's not done with Trick yet, he's just going to Waller first. Something tells me we'll see Trick get involved and cost Wesley the match.
I like that as well. Roderick Strong defeated Damon Kemp after Tony Nese came up on the Titantron and showed them both that the Creeds got jumped. Damon went to go help, but Roddy pulled him back and hit him with a jumping knee and then pinned him. And then ran off to go help, and he was yelling at Damon, "Come on, hurry up. What's taking you so long?" I was cracking up. That was probably the best Roddy Strong, like the best 3 minutes of Roddy Strong I've ever seen. That was hysterical. But it turns out there was an interview with Diamond Mine. Tony D's got them all fired up. Diamond Mine wants to prove that they are the strongest family. So there's going to be an 8-man tag team match, or an octo match, I guess is they call it in AEW, maybe. I don't know. A quads match, right? No, octo match. I don't know. So anyway, it's going to be it's going to be Tony Bish, it's going to be Stax, and then it's going to be Legado del Fantasma. It's going to be Cruz, and it's going to be Joaquin going against Diamond Mine. And when I was writing my notes, Roddy's doing this. Roddy, they're the strongest family. Do you think Roddy hired to take the Creeds out? Did he hire Tony D, John DeConnie?
Ooh, very interesting. I mean, he has been throwing a lot of little fits. Like, nobody listens to me. Like he's starting to, I don't know. I'm going to say Tony D takes it here, but yeah, I think this continues the schism in the Diamond Mine that leads to Roddy getting bounced from his own faction.
By the way, John Smith, schism, that name is taken. I believe that is what the Dyad and Joe Gacy are called.
Yes.
So Joe Gacy, schism. Like, oh my God. Never seen that spelled out before.
Schism. Wait, what are we picking again?
The 8-man. We have.
Yeah. I got the D'Angelo family.
Do you think Roddy hired Tony B to take out the Creeds?
No, I don't think that's the direction they're going with it.
No?
No.
And then, oh, damn it. Zion Quinn said the X Factor will be in full effect next week against Apollo Crews. I'm excited. I love the X Factors. All you do with the X Factor? No, I know everything.
Just incredible.
I'll never take that back. I know. Remember X-Pac with the X Factor?
Yes, just incredible. And who was it?
It was Albert.
Yeah.
And X-Pac. They're the X Factor.
You're dealing with the X Factor.
There you go. Zion Quinn's bringing it back this week, John Lagana.
And just because of that, I could not possibly pick him for referencing something that made me think of X-Pac. Just give me Apollo Crews.
If you want to piss off Kenny P, start singing the X Factor music. John Smith. I'm gonna say Zion Quinn. I don't think has won a match in the past 2 months, but he keeps on falling upward, which is incredible.
Right. Yeah, I think he's gonna end up taking this one.
No, over Apollo Crews. Wow.
Yeah. I think it's gonna be. He's not gonna be clean, but I think it's gonna happen.
Okay. So now we go from NXT tonight. Should be a fun show. And now we're going to be on the road to SummerSlam this Saturday. We're going to layeth the smacketh down from Friday night, where Stephanie McMahon started the show by stating that Vince McMahon, her father, has retired. It's officially said on Twitter. I said at the beginning of the show, she led a thank you, Vince chants that the crowd was all about. I guess real quick, John Smith, quick initial thoughts when you heard that the Vince McMahon era is officially over after 30 years.
You know what? You really want to know what my first thought was besides Triple H, because I'm a big Triple H guy. My first actual thought was he's not dead. He still owns the company. He can call in and tell them what to do at the drop of a hat. I feel, I don't know that for a fact, but I feel like, you're still the principal owner of the company. So you have final say. Whether you give final say to somebody else, it doesn't mean you can't call up and override something. So I think it'll always be Vince's WWE to a certain extent until he's dead. But I really love the idea of Triple H taking over creative, especially because of what he did with NXT for all those years.
John Licani.
I 100% agree with John Smith that, until, God forbid, something happens to Vince, or until I see Raw and SmackDown start to look like the Black and Gold brand did, that got me so excited every week for the last 2 years. Well, 2 out of the last 3 years at least. Until I see those changes, I don't believe that Vince isn't involved. If he is retiring, he's absolutely earned it. If this was just a way for him to step away so that if he winds up getting in trouble, he doesn't have to sell the company because now he's not really involved in it, then so be it. I'm excited about the idea of Hunter taking over. I'll believe it when I actually see it look like his product.
I think they had a pretty good start last night, but we'll get to that. But I saw a funny meme. I guess it was like Vince in a rocking chair, like with a kind of like a not like a mean look on his face, but kind of like. And it was Vince McMahon retired watching a 60-minute no contest draw between AJ Styles and Tommaso Ciampa.
Gargano and Ciampa. Yeah, I sent you that.
Gargano and Ciampa. I thought it was Styles. All right, Jay Gates coming in. There we go. Hunter is about to usher in the greatest. There we go. I like that. Jay Gates, they have the bodies. They just need the direction. I completely agree. We are all excited. I guess. Yeah, Kirk gets 60 minutes. So the show then continued. The Street Profits did an in-ring promo. They're fired up for SummerSlam, interrupted by Theory, letting everyone know he's cashing in at SummerSlam. Been saying that for a long time now. Interrupted by the Usos, telling Theory to keep Roman's name out their mouth. A brawl ensues. Theory sides with the Usos and to attack the Street Profits. And here comes Madcap Moss down to thwart the action. John Smith. They clean house, turns into a 6-man tag.
Yeah, we get Usos Theory versus Moss and the Profits. It was a pretty long match, right? Not that long, I guess. But
It's coming up on the bottom ticker. It took 2 seconds if you just let it scroll across. We're good.
where the heck is it? I thought I had it right here.
16.
I'm on the wrong thing. I'm on the
16
wrong
minutes.
episode of SmackDown. That's the problem. I'm on 2 weeks ago SmackDown. Okay, yeah, 16. Theory's been like the MVP lately. Everybody talks about what like Seth Rollins was doing a few years ago, and he was doing all those matches, pulling double duty. Theory's working 2 matches on both shows every week. It seems like it's crazy. The Usos end up ditching Theory after giving him a nice super kick for his efforts, and then Theory hits, or that's after the fact, right? Or what am I thinking? Jesus Christ, I get all this stuff mixed up, man. Theory hit Moss with the briefcase. That's what happened.
There you go.
Word. Okay.
Yeah, the post-match attack on Theory by Theory on SmackDown loss continued until Brock Lesnar. But you thought, but Boston thought. Wait. Hold on.
Yeah, all the internet turds like, oh, are we going to hear about how Brock Lesnar let us all down like they did with Sasha? No, because they swerved the crap out of us.
Jay Gates, I feel like the breaking up of the Street Profits is not going to be moved. They are gold together, and I'm tired of the unsung guy turns on the better guy storyline. I don't think the Street Profits are going to break up any. I don't know what they're going to do. I think they got to start running around with Bianca for a little bit just to switch, to spice it up a little bit or do something. Let the 3 of them win like these mixed trios matches together. I don't know.
It's almost like they need the rub from her. She's catapulted way above where they are.
So Brock Lesnar came down. He F5 Theory a couple times. Crowd went BS. That was fun. Face-to-face with Liv Morgan and Ronda Rousey. Ronda appreciates Liv and her passion, but no one in the locker room has more passion than Liv, except for Ronda. So, I don't think Theory going. John DeConnie, the one match we had previewed for last week, Ludwig Kaiser, Shinsuke Nakamura rematch. Sometimes when you win, you actually lose.
It kind of depends on who your friends are. Nakamura tries the O'Connor roll, and Kaiser kicks out of the roll-up, of course, but the referee's facing the wrong direction. So when Nakamura goes to the ropes, he gets a right hand from Gunther from the outside. That allows Kaiser to grab Nakamura again and hit. I don't know what to call it. He was setting up for what looked like a flatliner, and then he went for an overhand. It wound up being kind of like a DDT, but it was kind of with the leg trip too.
I don't know what Andrade does. I have it down as Andrade's DDT.
Okay, there you go. Anyway, he gets the 1, 2, 3, but on his way back up the aisle, I guess perhaps he was a little too happy with himself, considering he needed the help from Gunther. So Gunther gave him another chop.
But here we go. We have a different side of Gunther here. John Smith, Gunther played a little ha. Like he went to slap. Like, nah, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to slap you. And then he did it anyway. Like who knew Gunther knew how to play ha.
He's got a sense of humor. He's the full package. I want to see his dating profile.
Happy Corbin attacked Pat McAfee again at the announce table, and they're brawling all the way to the back. And then McAfee shot another fun promo. Bum-ass Corbin, and what he's going to do at SummerSlam. Sonya Deville went to Postman Pierce talking some more trash about him not running a good show without her. Pierce responding and putting Sonya in a match, going one-on-one with Raquel Rodriguez. I got worried for a second. I thought it was going to be The Undertaker. Raquel Rodriguez defeated Sonya Deville after a Tejana bomb, so that's, I guess, according to plan there. We have a couple matches, a couple things set up for next week. First, Lacey Evans versus Leah didn't happen again. This time because Lacey gave Aaliyah the women's right before the match could even start. Again, Lacey being on the mic, trashing the fans. Aaliyah just needs to back jump her. That's really what's going to happen, John Smith. Like, why is she sitting there letting Lacey talk? Just jump her right behind. No, she's not looking.
Because she doesn't have the testicular fortitude.
Wow. Gotcha.
Yeah.
You got Lacey Evans or Aaliyah?
Lacey.
John the Con, you think they're actually going to do it this time, or?
God, I hope so, because I get so irritated with these Fandango for the Maximum Male models. Oh, the lights aren't right this way. You keep putting it off like that. That you're Eva Marie. You're like you're okay. I get it. Once it's cute, twice is enough. You go beyond that, it's like all right, now I've lost interest in you. I don't care anymore.
Yep. The Viking Raiders defeated Jinder Mahal and Shanky via count out after Ivar threw Jinder into the New Day doing commentary. We're going to get the Viking Raiders versus the New Day on Friday. A little upset this isn't going to be on SummerSlam. But this should be everything you could possibly get. This is going to be a great week of wrestling. This is like the 5th time I put this up for something I put up here. Hoping the Viking Raiders, I love the New Day, but the Viking Raiders just really need to destroy them, John McConney.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I think we get a good match. I think the Viking Raiders matches since they've come back have been 90 seconds. So I think we get ourselves a good 9-minute match. But in the end, I think the Viking Raiders win.
John Smith.
Yeah, it's the Viking Raiders time. I got them.
Okay. Maxine Dupree appeared as advertised. She missed opportunity. John Connie. It would have been great for Jenny to do. But it looks like the Robert Stone brand just lost a member, as is Sophia Cromwell is now Maxine Dupree on SmackDown. So Maxine Dupree appeared as advertised, but the summer wear collection for 2022 was delayed. I was upset by that because I was planning on going to the beach last weekend, and I wanted to know what to wear, what was in the summer. I looked like an idiot at the beach this weekend, so damn it. Then the Brawling Brutes in-ring promo. Sheamus went face-to-face. Sheamus won't face McIntyre unless Drew's sword is banned from the ring. So here comes Drew with the sword. Asking what happened to Sheamus over the past 20 years. Long story short, this number 1 contenders match will finally happen in a good old-fashioned Irish Donnybrook. And guys, I got my shillelagh ready to roll. Who else is ready to run? It's actually kind of funny, John DeConnie. At your niece's community party this weekend, Ryan Rizika was there. The person who gave me the shillelagh.
All I have is this.
Now we'll save that for later. Hold that for later. You're okay with that. We got our shillelagh. He's like, you saw that shillelagh I gave you? Yeah, I got it. This was my wedding gift for Ryan Rizika.
Oh, nice.
It's a Patriots one. I don't know if I can.
I was just gonna say, I'm seeing a logo there. Yeah, it sure is.
No, I'm ready for a good old-fashioned Irish Donnybrook, John DeConte.
Yeah, not that I would want to ruin your wedding gift, but because it's got that logo on it, I wish it would meet the same fate as Sheamus's did by being cut in half by Angela. And, okay, we get to this. We finally get to it. If we actually get a winner, Drew McIntyre is that winner.
Again, John Smith, a little upset this match isn't a SummerSlam. I want to know what Fox had, the hold that Fox has on this. I know they paid millions and millions of dollars. And the show's got to be top notch every week because it is network TV. But this could be a SummerSlam, right?
Yeah, maybe it doesn't happen, and it happens at SummerSlam. Who knows? But if I'm picking it for this Friday, either way, I'm picking Drew.
Yeah, Drew McIntyre going into a UK event after 30 years. I think that's the smart thing to do. Then we go from SmackDown to Monday Night Raw, and we are officially, it is official. As it was announced, I believe it was on Monday, Hunter is in control, creative control. He is now the head writer. That was on WWE.com. That is not me spreading a rumor or SpongeBobbing. SpongeBob could have this one off. Triple H is our head writer. This is our first show, and as we were talking in pre-production, he tied a nice little bow around this episode. Things kind of interlinked, and it all made sense at the end. Not one raw roll-up either. We did an in-ring promo with the Bloodline and our tribal chief. Heyman did all the hype because Roman can't stand to say Brock Lesnar's name. Here comes Theory with a death wish. Roman shot him down pretty hard. Look on Theory's face was like a 5-year-old getting scolded for having bad grades or something. It was bad. Little scuffle between Theory and Jay, but Roman held Jay back to let Theory live to see SummerSlam. John Smith, Theory stayed in the ring past the commercial break, was immediately interrupted by Drew McIntyre.
Yeah, and I believe this might have even been a scheduled match that we just didn't know about. But we got McIntyre versus Theory. But when McIntyre looked like he was about to hit the Claymore for the 1, 2, 3, we get the Brawling Brutes, aka Fight Night, which I think is what they should be called.
Yes.
They come out, cause a disqualification, so Drew does win, but by DQ. But Bobby Lashley comes out for the save, and I like this team up right here. Bobby Lashley and Drew, very unlikely duo.
Yeah,
Impact domination over in WWE.
Exactly.
So then we get the two of them versus Sheamus and Theory, which goes on for another 12 minutes, it seems, right? That's according to Mr. DeConti's calculations over here on the website.
It's on the bottom ticker. We're good. It's on the bottom ticker.
Oh, there it is right there. More than 12 minutes, actually, because of the commercial. How the hell did it end? Oh, yeah, the Usos. No. Why do I keep doing this? With this stupid Uso. I love the Usos. Now, the Usos end up kicking Theory in the face up on the ramp after the match. But, Hurt Lock. Theory, Hurt Lock, right? Yeah.
Yeah, Dolph Ziggler came out of nowhere again, distracted Theory. Again, Ziggler's just popping up in these random places to screw over Austin Theory. Theory was about to hook A-Town down, got reversed into the Hurt Lock with the distraction. So Theory tapped out. McIntyre Lashley got the win, and then that leads us to the main event of the show, John DeConti. All that leads up, we're back to Roman Reigns and the Bloodline. See, that's the third call.
There you go. And here's the thing. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong. I might have nodded off, which I probably didn't, because for the first time, I wasn't looking at the clock going, Jesus, when is this show going to be over? I actually enjoyed this episode of Raw. Did we go through a 3-hour show of Raw where Riddle was in the building and we didn't get a backstage segment of him talking utter nonsense?
Nothing. I thought I noticed that as well. And there was no Rollins. I'm like, I can't believe Riddle's not saying anything. There's no Rollins, and Austin Theory was on for an hour.
Thank you, Triple H.
Yeah.
Because your main event was the Bloodline, Roman included, versus Riddle and the Street Profits. They went for almost 19 and a half minutes. It was fantastic because it was the Usos and the Profits, who we already know can tear it down. No one's ever going to accuse Roman of not being able to perform. And, of course, Riddle is upper crust as well. In the end, Riddle manages to hit the draping DDT on Roman. But when he jumps for that RKO, Roman is able to shake it off. He just catches him, tosses him aside, and by the time Riddle stands back up and turns around, he gets cut in half with a spear. 1, 2, 3, the Bloodline take it. And as the Bloodline is leaving and heading back up the aisle, Seth's music hits. Seth and Roman kind of pause right next to each other. They share a look. Maybe it's not necessarily friendly, but Seth is cackling like an idiot anyway, so it doesn't really much matter. But his business is in the ring. He heads down there. He's going to lump up. He puts the boots to Riddle. He winds up whacking him with the top part of the steps. Then he sets up both parts of the steps. He stomps him on the floor. Then he sets him up in the V there for the top part of the steps and stomps him inside the steps. There's no way he'll be at 100% at SummerSlam now because he's been stomped by Seth Rollins, which, spoiler, changes exactly what my thought is for the pick at SummerSlam. Anyway, and that's how the show ended.
Jay Gates mentioned before, John DeConti, I think you were reading a thing that he says that the Street Profits are done after SummerSlam. One's going to jump the other. There's going to be a swerve or something. Any thoughts on that?
I hope it doesn't happen. I think a year ago I would have believed that more when it was looking like Michael's Jannetty thing, but Dawkins has raised his game so much, I don't see any reason to split them apart. Doesn't mean it's not going to happen, but I don't want to see it.
Rey Mysterio's 20th anniversary celebration. I see what you did there. celebration. There was a video. There was an in-ring promo with Dominic. He thanked everybody for their support over the past 20 years. Eventually, the Judgment Day appeared, and their scheduled match began. But the Mysterios won after a double 619 by the Mysterios, followed into a frog splash by Ray. But then the celebration continued in the back. Ray took a shot at Cuervo, received a gift from Aaliyah. I thought that was a cobra. That's where my head went. I'm like, oh my God, there's a cobra in that present. Jake Roberts with the snake and Randy Savage's wedding gift. Anybody? SummerSlam or whatever, 1990?
Yes, sir.
Match made
I don't remember that.
Turned out to be his old purple onesie ring attire from, I guess, the Halloween Havoc match for Psychosis.
Yeah.
Correct? All right.
Yep.
Rhea Ripley eventually showed up, and then the balls on Aaliyah. I still think the balls on Aaliyah to step up to Rhea Ripley. But then I saw this, and now it makes sense.
They got the same hair.
Yeah, right, with Buddy and you. The old flame, the ex-girlfriend meets the present girlfriend. It never really goes. So that's why Aaliyah. And then she got pie-faced. They dragged Dominic out. They beat the crap out of Dominic. They put Ray through a table. Then after commercial break, Rhea Ripley kicked Ray, and I guess he had an injured shoulder. So, yeah, that match got set up. They're having a no disqualification match at SummerSlam. So we'll talk about that on Saturday at our special. Like I said, Triple H is the new writer that was announced Monday. He comes out. The first thing we see on air in a Triple H, the new era, is of all people, The Miz in a pre-air brawl with Logan Paul. I jump like, yeah, go get him. Like, I'm 5 seconds into the McMahon Helmsley era. I'm jumping out of my chair. I'm ready to roll with this. Later on Impulsive TV, I see what you did there too. Logan Paul calls out The Miz, but gets Maurice instead, then eventually gets The Miz, who every man measures his testicles. Yeah, we'll share that behind the scenes. We won't go over sizes now.
Was that circumference or diameter that she was talking with those measurements?
I don't know.
She's French Canadian. It might have not even been, might have been metric. God only knows.
Millimeters. Eventually, Ciampa came out to jump Logan Paul, allowing Miz to hit the skull-crushing finale as the crowd chants one more time. Yes. Earlier in the night, AJ Styles met Logan Paul, and AJ said, if there's anything you need, he'll be there for you. And Styles just let him get his ass kicked.
Oops.
Humberto Carrillo move right there, or a Kenny Omega move right there. One of those two. That was funny. Alpha Academy had a conversation in the back with Styles and Ziggler. It's an odd pairing. Then eventually challenged them to a tag team match. So that's where Styles was. I guess he was prepping for his tag team match because that was up right after Impulsive TV, John McConney.
Yes, indeed it was. Yeah, this odd team of AJ and Dolph versus the Alphas. It only went about 7.5 minutes, but it was a good 7.5 minutes because obviously everyone in that grouping can work. And there seemed to be O'Connor rolls everywhere this week, but none of them actually led to roll-ups, which is usually the most fun part of the O'Connor roll. Chad kind of forced AJ into the corner. O'Connor rolled out of it. AJ shook him off, and Chad stumbled right backwards into Dolph, who was actually the legal man. Chad had not seen the blind tag. He got zigzagged. 1, 2, 3. AJ and Dolph get the victory over the Alphas.
Another key moment on the show last night that I got excited for, that a new era has happened. Bianca Belair's in-ring promo was immediately interrupted before she even got a word out. Immediately interrupted by Becky Lynch. Came out and they just started fighting. Like, there was no talking. Like, they had a little. I'm the biggest. I'm the back. Like, Bianca didn't really say anything, and Becky, they just started punching each other, and they just went at it in an impressive brawl. They were throwing each other around. That was absolutely great. I'm now excited for that match more so than I was before for SummerSlam weekend. Yes, John McConney.
The best part of that was they brawled, they got separated, they went to the next segment, and we didn't see either of them for the rest of the night.
Hashtag McMahon Helmsley era. Get excited, boys. Get excited. There was a backstage interview with Alexa Bliss. She had a warning to both Bianca and Becky that she wants to be back on top of the women's division. She went out and had a win against Doudrop in a better than match that I probably would have expected a week ago. Again, hashtag McMahon Helms the other. They got 4.5 minutes, probably 3.5 minutes longer than they probably would have got. And Alexa Bliss came out with the win with her DDT. I guess Doudrop had her for like a Rikishi driver. And Alessa turned out of it, hit her patent DDT for the win. And then John Smith, I know you got all excited about Cody Rhodes winning an SB for a WWE Moment of the Year. Now you can put your sign up.
Why did I have to see him on my television? Cody's trash. Cody is trash.
So that will do it for our show today, boys. That was a lot of fun. Let's there you go. So we have the Eastern Observer logo coming up. Yeah, it's right there right now. That will do it for this week's show. As we head in to SummerSlam, we have a fun night tonight at NXT as always. A fun week of wrestling, but a lot of matches. I'm excited as we saw a lot of winners. Us moments as I put the SummerSlam card. Jonathan Connie, how are you looking forward to SummerSlam right now? The card that you say.
I'm very much looking forward to it because I'm not sure I can pick a single match on it with any real amount of confidence. So
yeah,
that's good to me.
Yeah, other than Roman Reigns, John Smith, I'm having a hard time with this card right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with those sentiments. I was going to say I agree with exactly what John said, except for the main event, because I'll say it every week. Roman ain't lose until he gets that 1,000 days, and that's at the end of May.
End of next May, yeah, and it's going to look 300. Yeah, exactly.
Well, yeah, for May that's coming up next.
Yeah, it's upcoming.
Point of note: SummerSlam, they were saying last night, is day 699. So like that next night on Raw or next week on Raw, whatever the hell it is day 700. Does he stop him short of 700 days? Is there someone who has a streak that's right around there that would be a reason for them to stop it? I don't think so, but I thought it was odd, interesting that it was right there at 699, 700.
Well, I got ahead of myself. Here are the Raw roll-ups. Last week I said it was a pretty light week. Normally the women have been taking over the past couple of weeks. This week, Wheeler Yuta stole the show. He got 2 of them. One on Dynamite on Chuck Taylor, another one on Daniel Garcia at Death Before the Sign. Lee Moriarty had one as well on Rampage. So AEW +2 for them. Look at Ring of Honor! A little bit late. Little late to the show, but they're showing that they want to play. Wheeler Yuta is now tied with Dana Brooke, one behind Xavier Woods for the overall lead for wins, and The Miz and Tamina, they're still on the loser board for most losses. So now we can go to the primetime rundown. The regular season program has included and it's resumed its second summer schedule every Monday at 7 p.m. Join Joey Jarzanka, Ian Schreier, Mike Zabo, Rob DeLuca. Shout out to Rob DeLuca. I spotted a Jersey guy last night. He had a guest appearance last night on the Primetime Rundown. You never know when these special guests will pop up. We did see Rob back on the screen last night. Join Joe Jarzanka, Ian Schreier, Mike Zabo as they bring you the world of sports on Monday nights through the thick of the summer right here on the Eastern Observer. Do you have an interest in becoming a sports reporter? Would you like to be asking high-profile coaches and players questions in person? Are you a college student looking to break into the sports media industry and looking to write about your favorite team? The Eastern Observer is looking for interested candidates to join the family for college credit. College credit, kids! No joke, this is good stuff. This is good stuff. I wish I didn't let's go further. Yeah, look no further. Aspiring writers, social media specialists, content creators, etc. can inquire by emailing eosports3@gmail.com. We're looking forward to having you join the Eastern Observer family. Black Cats NYC, the official band of the Eastern Observer, their album Free Cake is out now. Anywhere that you get your music, any music provider, you can get the Black Cats NYC's album Free Cake out now. Play loud. As always, the Essential Wrestling podcast is sponsored by Pro Wrestling Pick'em, the internet leader in sports entertainment pick'em pools. Join us in the Essential Wrestling Podcast public pool to play against us or create a private pool with you and your friends. ProWrestlingPick'em.com. Play against your friends, play against the universe, and guys, she will like it too. Join us back here next week for episode 112 at 5 p.m. on all of our viewing options. While you are here watching and listening, please make sure that you like this episode and subscribe to the Eastern Observer to make sure you get all of the updates on our shows and news articles. Ladies and gentlemen, hit that like button and subscribe. It is all about the algorithm. And be sure to join us on Saturday, this Saturday, July 30th at 2 p.m., where we will be live, as always, for our Essential Wrestling Podcast SummerSlam special. We would love for you, we would love for us to be your afternoon pre-show before the hottest party of the summer. And that will do it. John DeConnie, anything for you before we get out of here?
Negative, sir.
John Smith.
No, still not wearing any pants. Just shorts.
I like to hear. He's ready for a pants on. Alexa Bliss, we love you. Larry Steve, forever in our hearts. John DeConnie, take us home.
Thanks for joining us. And as always, we wish you the best in all your future endeavors.
Been waiting. I can't even tell you how long I've been waiting for this.